So I welcome you. We are in these Atlantean Secrets live series, and we are contemplating together and remembering together what it really takes to shape our reality. Do we have that power? And if we do, what kind of responsibility comes with that power, right? What kind of responsibility comes with that power? And just to give a little recap, I wasn't brought up in this wisdom. I actually was born into a family that had zero spirituality. I was raised in communist country, Soviet Russia, where spirituality, all access to spirituality, to any kind of teachings that go the beyond, were taken away from people for over 80 years. So the country was starved for spirituality. But what I remember, even as a child, I had this deep awareness of having a sort of a mission, having a divine assignment. I remember asking my mom, who was a single mother working really hard, labor intense jobs, and I was asking my mom, why am I here? What is my purpose? What is the meaning of life? What will happen after death? And I quickly realized that my mom was not the person to ask those questions. So I dove into the world of books. And when I found my way into the promised land of the United States, for me, it was a promised land where I could open my wings. And I came to this country with nothing to my name, just a few dollars and a big, big vision. I dove into the world of self-development because I knew if I wanted to shape my life and to make it look differently than my ancestors who only had struggle and poverty and all kind of limitations, beginning with the limitations of their own mind, I knew I needed to access higher wisdom, higher understandings to empower myself to transform my reality. That's where the passion for these different kind of teachings, sacred teachings, began. And as I've shared in the first session and the second session, when I came to the teachings of ancient Egypt, it felt not only familiar, it felt as if I am tapping into the living stream of wisdom, a wisdom that is alive, a wisdom that is transformative. And when I began my apprenticeship with Thoth, simply connecting to him telepathically through that, that innocence of the mind, that willingness to be almost naive, right? In a way, to be like a child, to ask yourself, what if it's true? To take the skeptic, it's good to have a skeptic in us, right? It's good. It has its place in our awareness. But when we approach mystical teachings, we got to ask that skeptic to step aside so our mystic can rise. And when our mystic rises, we begin to unfold these potentials and these abilities. And a few things that have unfolded in my life since the time of me invoking Thoth at the comfort of my home by my devotional altar. I remember saying an invocation. And the power of invocation, if we do it sincerely, we invite the energy of the higher being into our reality. We initiate a contact. It's a sort of how when you open yourself to a contact with interdimensional beings, right? These benevolent beings, teachers of our planet, such as Arcturians or Sirians or Pleiadians, they will never violate our free will. We get to initiate the contact. And when we do, we get to work on our vibration. So we are a harmonious instrument able to receive communication from the higher realms. So when I start communicating with Thoth, I kept accessing new material, Mayan teachings would come, right? These different alchemical healing modalities would just arrive to me. Gene keys come, right? The Richard Roth teachings, I Ching, all these wisdom streams began flooding into my reality. And I intuitively felt it was because of Thoth. But not only that, because Thoth is known as the scribe of the gods and a keeper of Akashic records, I began opening channeling abilities, not only speaking, but also writing. And especially with writing, it took a little bit more courage. I have been carrying this vulnerability, you can call insecurity, about my writing for quite a while. I was terribly shy publishing anything I was writing, especially if it's a channeled information. And I was working with Thoth, asking him to strengthen my spiritual will, to give me this new level of confidence. And that's why I love introducing teachings of Thoth, because you can communicate with him directly and you can ask for support to open up your spiritual abilities, to open up your communication. Okay, I'm gonna do it like this. A little bit better camera. Oh, I'm using this new webcam, so it's a new technology. Still learning how to work with it. A little bit more about Thoth, because it is his event in a way. You know, when we study a story of Thoth in emerald tablets, imagine a being that grew up studying ancient mysteries since childhood. He was trained at the temples and he excelled with his practices, with his spiritual will, right? So much that the main spiritual being, known as the dweller in the emerald tablets, was so impressed by his spiritual fire, by Thoth's spiritual fire, that he said, Thoth, come to me for an appointment, in a way. And the energy of that being was so massive. I imagine it was a sort of an archangel that took form. The energy was so massive, you could only approach him at a distance without, collapsing. And Thoth came to him, and the dweller said, Thoth, I have watched your progress. I have seen your desire for truth and for evolution of your consciousness. You can ask for anything you wish, and it will be granted to you. And Thoth asked for only one thing. Who knows what Thoth asked for? I'm gonna see who knows. What did Thoth ask? Yes, Robert, yes, wisdom. And this is what's tattooed on my arm. Wisdom is literally the theme of the path that my soul is walking and what I keep sharing with others. Because when he asked for wisdom, he asked for a key to the mysteries of the universe. And he was able to transfer his consciousness to other dimensions and travel intergalactically and learn from other civilizations, right? He went beyond his home planet. He went so beyond. He was gathering all this knowledge. And one of my favorite phrases in the emerald tablets, that after he searched and learned all the mysteries in the entire universe, he realized that the deepest mysteries are hidden in the heart of a human being. That when we really begin to dive into the curriculum of the heart, awakened, open, receptive heart, there is inexhaustible well of wisdom that lays in the heart. And that leads us to the topic of today's class, which is the key to shaping our reality, to molding it, to transforming it, is to activate this unique balance between our mind and our heart. And when they come into the sacred union, we activate this inner fire that is called spiritual will. And a spiritual will is a key component for us to realize that we've been given an incredible gift by taking human incarnation. We've been given an opportunity to exercise our creative abilities, to open our power centers, also known as chakras, to reconnect our biocircuitry to become this living tree of life, in order for us to become the masters of our own destiny. It's such a profound gift, such a profound responsibility. Thoth says in the Emerald Tablets, masters ye of your destiny. Who you are is who you think you are. Let's unpack this mysterious statement together. At any moment, who we think we are determines the actions we take or not take. If we only think of ourselves as, I am this personal character, I am this body, I am this human being, right? That's a limited set of possibilities, opportunities, and abilities we can access to. If we think as, I am an immortal spirit, here temporarily experiencing myself as having a body, having a personal identity, having a certain storyline, a certain script, then what we're able to create when we act from this stance that I am an immortal spirit. So the key is to awaken that code of immortality, and that takes spiritual will. And a spiritual will, we each can share our experience with that incredible capacity, because it's not just effort. It's not just action. It's this fire of devotion that gets lit in our heart when we awaken to our true potential. So in ancient Atlantis, especially at the temples, they have led very ritual-centered life. There were different festivals dedicated to different elements. There were festival of the water, festival of air, festival of fire, festival of ether, right? Each element was revered. Each day would start with a ritual, with a practice, with a personal set of activations of who they are, because they knew they were on the plane of duality. It was an experience, experiment, and an adventure of consciousness. So it was about their spiritual will for them to stay in that remembrance and awareness and continue to progress their ability to create on the plane that has physical density and physical obstacles and physical limitation. Spiritual will is that faculty in us. I see it always represented as a spiritual flame in my soul. It's that spiritual faculty that says, I choose to progress my consciousness. I choose to grow in many dimensions of my life. I choose to activate mastery, not only within, but also on my material plane. I choose to master the skills that are required on this physical plane. You know, dear ones, beside being a teacher of ancient mysteries, I am also a leadership mentor and intuitive business strategist. And when I think about what it took for me to develop business skills, to develop business acumen, it was this one quality, spiritual will, because I had such a clear vision of what I am here to bring forth, such as support of shifting humanity's consciousness. I knew I had to, I got to, I must, in a way, to figure out this physical structure that is called physical material business, which became a vehicle in which I deliver my work. So I embraced technology. I embraced speaking on video, embraced learning all these tools that didn't come naturally, that didn't come effortlessly. It took a lot of discipline and spiritual will, and it was worth it every single step of the way. So spiritual will, from my perspective, is learning to develop ourselves in many dimensions of life, learning to figure out the money game on this physical plane, right? Learning to figure out communication, learning to figure out our ability to be of service to others, our ability to bring people together, right? Our ability to inspire. If all of these skills are required for our spiritual mission, and we have that unity between what our mind can see and what our heart desires, we are tapping into this bigger inner strength, sustainable motivation, sustainable inspiration, I would say. And when I also think about spiritual will, that unity of heart and mind, when both of them come together, right? Because what I see in our spiritual communities, what I see a lot can happen, especially when people begin to activate their heart center. There is a tendency at times to throw away reason, to throw away the mind, and to say, I'm going to go beyond that. But the logic and the reason and the mind has its place. It helps us organize, plan, prepare to become knowledgeable, to become wise. I really believe both are needed. Strong, clear reason and passionate, wild, emotional intelligence. When they come together in union and they serve the soul, we activate the power of spiritual will. When I also think about different yogi traditions, I just practiced Kundalini yoga before this transmission. And if you ever attended Kundalini yoga, it's all about building that fire, building that spiritual will, right? You do these repetitions for 30, 50 times and you chant mantra and you breathe. And the first few sessions, you don't know if it's for you. You don't know if you cut off for it. You say, I don't have strength. And it's very humbling, right? I remember my very first Kundalini sessions. It was very humbling. I bowed down to that practice and I said, I'm going to just do my best. I'm going to keep showing up. I'm going to learn how to build that fire, because the spiritual will unlocks our Kundalini. And a Kundalini energy, that inner Shakti, is the key to opening the door of immortality, to realize ourselves as a mortal spirit. I'd like to bring you one more universal law that was deeply practiced in Atlantean civilization. And it's a law of cause and effect. In our modern terms, we reap what we sow. We always reap what we sow. And it's so empowering because we can say, if I start taking new actions that are inspired by the union of my mind and my heart, I begin to shape my reality into a new direction. And in the beginning, when I take new action, it takes so much patience. Because when you start pivoting your life, when you start changing your habits, start changing who you are around, what are you reading, how you're resting, how you to take care of your body. And the very beginning, when you make that shift, you may not see the results right away, and it's easy to give up on the practice. It's easy to say, it's not for me. I've been there many times. But if we persevere, we remember cause and effect. Everything I have in my life right now is a result of my previous thinking, previous vibration, previous actions. In order for me to create new reality, what do I get to think? What energy do I get to put into the world? What actions do I get to take? And how's activation of my spiritual will is taking form in all of this? One of my favorite texts, Hermetic text, is the Kybalion, Hermetic philosophy, written by the three initiates who were receiving this teachings through Thoth, the Hermes. He gives this analogy that the majority of people in the world are like chess pieces on the board game of life, constantly being thrown away by the circumstantial forces, feeling powerless to change their life. Kybalion tells us people who step on the path of mastery, people who become initiates, learn the higher laws and learn the ways to become the chess player in the game of life. And that is why Thoth says, masters ye of your destiny. Masters you are of your destiny. And the true, leap of consciousness is to realize that we are masters of our destiny. We write the story that is the book of our life, and every day we can write a different chapter. And then the higher we rise in our devotion to this path, the more we begin to arrive to this beautiful realization that there is a divine will, the will of the whole, and a true mastery is surrender into that. Then yes, you are a master of your destiny, and you're also in the service of the plan of the planetary destiny. So you hold the paradox of both. I found myself reading yesterday. I have a lot of books in the house. I'll show you a couple of bookshelves. I have 3 of them like this. So I am a, how would you say it in English? Voracious reader. Voracious reader. And last night my hand reached for a book by a great luminary who is no longer in the physical body with us. And it's David Hawkins, who gave us a powerful teaching called Power versus Force, how he was able to give us a map or a scale of consciousness based on kinesiology, muscle testing. And it's a very exciting book, but some parts of it can be depressing to read. You know why? Because there is one part of the book that I read that in the last 70 years, human collective has only elevated our consciousness by 37 points. When you read that, when I read that, my heart just goes, wow, we progress so slow. We progress so slow, right? And I sit with these feelings and I say, this is why initiates and the star seeds are on the planet right now. Because they are the ones who are willing to do the work required to activate their blueprint. When the rest of the world is lost in Netflix and mindless activities to distract themselves from feeling their soul, it's those who are choosing to be on the path of initiation. They say, I am going to fire up my spiritual will. I am going to study. I am not going to be entranced by this spell of comfort. I'm not going to get lost in the Maya. I am going to continue to awaken my consciousness because I choose to be here in this very powerful time. This is what gives me strength. This is what gives me courage to keep seeing new humanity. Today, I was listening to one of the channelers that I respect for the clarity of his channeling. It's Lee Harris. Highly recommend his work. He brought this beautiful prognosis for November. And he said, one second, darlings. He said, where is it? I take so many notes everywhere. Yeah. He said, remember the restorative power of vision. And he was inviting all people to hold a vision, to hold a positive, luminous vision, not only for our own lives, but for our community, for our planet. You know how exciting it was? I went to my local yoga studio about a month ago, and I signed up for aromatherapy, sacred geometry, and sound healing class. And when I got there, I was delighted to find out that this couple, the husband and wife, were teaching Atlantean teachings. They were teaching Hermetic philosophy. So to live in the time where you can go to a yoga studio, I know I'm in California, it's a little bit of a different vortex here, but still, it would not be possible 10 years ago. So there is leaps, there are shifts of consciousness. Even though we can sometimes get discouraged by witnessing the drama and the conflict and the suffering, and that can kind of take away the wind behind our sails. But when we gather together and we share the teachings that liberated our consciousness, we share it with others, we remind each other that we are witnessing something profound taking place. We are the bridge to new humanity, you and I. We are that transition generation. It's uncomfortable to be a transition generation. You know, how many times I wish I was born when the new earth has already been there, but that's an easy ride, right? My soul's like, let's incarnate during the transition time. Let's be the bridge for the new humanity. So if you are here and if you're drawn to this topic because you are a part of the collective of star seeds, and we are collectively awakening initiate level consciousness together, because that is what's needed for us to activate the temple within, to activate communication with galactic elders, to become true alchemist of our reality. And that's not a small task. And it is so rewarding. when we activate these abilities and we move forward with clarity, confidence, and trust in divine will, divine plan. On this note, divine souls, I would like to see if you have any questions or if you have any comments, what resonated with you from today's session. And I'd like to take a moment to let you know that probably tomorrow I am announcing the Atlantean Wisdom School, that I am holding a vision to bring forth. The name of the school is Initiation. I know it's a big name, but that's what my guides gave me. And it is a school that will train modern metaphysicians, modern alchemists, and modern spiritual scholars who will go to their communities and who will bring tools and codes of consciousness to the people, who will empower others to awaken immortal spirit within, who will give people maps for transformation, for awakening, and who will create supportive learning environments for people to awaken, to empower themselves, and to bloom in their own unique way. If this is for you, you will receive access to an interest form, and you can put your information and I will reach out to you. Beside that, dear ones, I host an incredible, exquisite experience in Peru, which feels very Atlantean to me. This is going to be my third retreat. Next year in April, I'm taking a group of amazing souls for a 9-day transformational experience. Atlantean codes are very, very powerful in Peru. To me, I just go back straight to Atlantis. In fact, I have never said this before publicly, but I had a full alien contact in Peru last couple of times through this group of beings who call themselves Apunians. They come from a star system called Apu. And at first I thought they were spirits of the land, spirits of the mountains. But the moment I came back to US after my time in Peru, I was guided to a documentary that was talking about these beings who were revealing themselves to the local people in Peru. So there's so much I can tell you, but these are experiences that have been flooding my life more and more and more. And this is why I keep coming back to Peru, to connect to the Akashic field that is so rich with information and codes and prana. Part of the experience is, of course, we work with plant medicine. We work with Wachuma, the sacred cactus, that gives us the awakening of the heart and the spiritual vision and the spiritual will. But we also do something truly remarkable. We take a pilgrimage together and we walk together. It's called Inca Trail. It was reserved for Inca priests and kings and the rulers of that civilization. And we walk together, and every step we take transforms your consciousness, because you take in the most pristine prana and you walk in this contemplative way, and you walk all day for 9 hours, and you walk through the sun gate. That's also a form of initiation, and you see the crystal city, Machu Picchu, that is known as an ancient cosmic altar. And you bring your prayers, you bring your consciousness, you bring your devotion, you offer yourself to that cosmic altar, and you receive so much. You receive blessing, protection, healing, whatever healing that you pray to receive. If you're open and curious and you bring that reverent attitude, you will be blessed in return. If you'd like to learn more about that, reach out to me. It is a really profound experience, and I am honored to bring another group this April of 2024. Okay, these are the announcements that I wanted to share with you. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, the roses on the dress. This is my Atlantean dress. It's really long too. It's like this priestess dress. Okay. See the Atlantean dress. Oh, divine souls. And it's so amazing. I wanted to share with you that the Atlanteans were taught by Lemurians, and Lemurians were taught by Pleiadians. And another signature part of the wisdom school is going to be a galactic communication. Robert says, how many people do you take to Peru? Robert, I keep the group very small. It's 15 people per group. And I book the entire center, eco luxury, beautiful center that is built as a Kundalini spine. It's built on sacred geometry. It's the most exquisite place I've ever been, and I've been to many places. And the group is small, and you have so much spaciousness to be with yourself. The key vibration of that experience is I nourish those who nourish others. So you come there to receive vision for your life, to get deeply nourished, and also connect to Akashic records and to your parallel lifetimes and learn from that culture. So I'll take, if you have any more questions, I'm here for you. I'm going to check with Facebook community. Thank you so much. I just see your comments. Thank you so much, dear souls. Yes. Okay. Be blessed. You know how to reach me. Those of you who are interested in what I named, please reach out. You can reach to me by my email or through social media if you have any questions. But tomorrow is going to be a surprise transmission. We'll see what comes through tomorrow. It would be a great joy and honor to be with you. Until tomorrow, thank you so much for being here. It's been a great joy to be with you. Until tomorrow. You know what? I'm going to wait 3 more minutes so I end on 444. I have 3 more minutes. Does anybody else has a question? I want to end at 444. Daria, I remember you. You have attended some of my events, right? Yeah, I think I remember you. Yes, you did. Daria, where are you? Which place of the world? You're in Ireland. Okay. Okay. Yes, that's why you said about those Emerald Islands. I would love to. I'm holding an intention to come to Ireland. Oh, got you. You were in London last year when you watched me on Kenlin Summit.